What's up, guys? Anders here with another patch notes video for you guys. Lots to get through, as today we're going to be taking a look at the NA EU PC patch notes as well as the Korean patch notes. However, before we get to that, I'd like to thank those of you who have clicked that join button to help keep the channel going. If you'd like to join and make a monetary contribution, hit that button if you wish. And if you can't, you can freely support the channel by subscribing if you haven't already, following me on Twitter at Anders Galler, liking or disliking this video depending on how your day is going, and any support you show helps me keep uploading videos for you guys. Now, as for NA EU PC patch notes, we have Agris Fever, which is a new Book of Margahan reward. Basically, just complete the Book of Margahan adventure log with a character level 60 or higher to receive Agris Fever. Once you've completed the book, volume 2, and accepted all the chapter's rewards, you will recover 4,000 points per day up to a maximum of 20,000 points. You will see item drops increase up to 150% when defeating certain monsters. Using other items like loot scrolls with the Agris Fever effect can increase total item drop rate to 200% max. Basically, if you don't grind a lot, you're going to be accumulating these points every day, and then once every 3 days, you can grind for a bit until your Agris Fever is run out, and you'll have more drop from wherever you're grinding. Now, different monsters drop the Agris Fever certain amounts, so you can actually go to the website and check which monsters drop more or less depending on where you want to grind. But pretty good overall change. Agris Fever, it's been well received in Korea, so it should be pretty well received over here as well. Now, guild missions I talked about in the last video I made on labs update, the test server stuff. That's basically what we got. So I added new guild missions. We have weed gathering missions, we have milk gathering missions, and bartering missions. And now cooking and alchemy also had changes, basically the byproduct changes I was talking about. Revamped the byproducts obtained from cooking and alchemy. There is a chance you can obtain, which is delicacy, from cooking, and there's also a chance you can obtain mysterious catalyst from alchemy. So basically these two items have now replaced all the byproducts you could get, and you can basically exchange 10 of them for whatever you want, milk or powder of darkness, stuff like that. Now, Berserker Succession also received some changes, all good. Improvements to Frenzy Destroyer, Beast Form, Beastly Wind Slash, Raging Thunder, and Fierce Strike. Removed split damage from certain skills as well, so that's very good for Berserker. Tamer also had Surging Tide, now applying add-on effects when hitting targets from afar, and Absorb Highline now has a 10-second cooldown when you're using the skill without highlighting out, and a 5-minute 30-second cooldown when highlighting is present. Now, Kunoichi Succession received her nerfs, basically flash/PvP damage reduced and no longer CCs after the first hit in both BSR and non-BSR versions, and Shadow Clone PvP damage has been reduced, and Dance Macabre's SA now only applies on the attack. Now, Ninjutsu Commence also had its movement distance reduced by 30%. So overall, pretty significant Kunoichi Succession nerfs. Now, Mystic Succession, Crouching Wolf now absorbs 10 shards to apply a 20% attack speed buff for 10 seconds. Prey Hunt now is activated when there are more than 10 shards and only consumes 10 shards. Hidden Claw knockback CC is now a knockdown. Sea Burial into Landslide combo is not possible by pressing LMB after use. Multiple faster animation combos with Fist Fury, Hidden Claw, Roaring Tiger, Thunder Pound, Tornado Kick, and a lot more. Overall, pretty interesting changes, I would have to say. Land Succession obviously received her nerfs, not as bad as we first saw on test server. Pendulum Cleaver no longer has SA. Blade Dance, Crescent Barrage, Blooming Nether Flower, Selpiri Purge now all have reduced PvP damage. Selpiri Purge no longer has SA, and Phantom Dance now consumes 250 stamina. There are some also limitations to click to move with the class now, so keep that in mind. Guardian Succession received some changes, some good changes. Axe Throw basically gains a forward guard now on the effect on the first hit. Beast Demolisher now has increased range to the left and right, and there's a bunch of improved skill combos with skills to allow smoother and faster transitions, which was a problem with Guardian Succession. And in terms of mount changes, the change the call ship button movement. So it was a menu before, now it's located on the upper left hand portion. It's no longer a menu. Basically, it auto activates depending on the distance of where you are. So if you're close enough, you'll grab the wheel. If you are not close enough, it'll teleport you to the ship. If you're farther away, it'll teleport the ship to you. Basically what it used to be, pretty much. There's also 2 events, pretty major ones, especially if you're new. Dreaming of the Big Catch, it's the fish event that a lot of people love. Basically, for the next couple of weeks, you're going to be able to fish in Termian Beach, basically in that little area right there. And you can fish for koi, 500k value to NPC vendor. You sell this directly to any NPC vendor for 500k silver. And there's also now the Golden Sea Perch, which is a little bit more rare, and it's 10 million in value as well, which is crazy. And you can sell that to an NPC vendor as well. So basically, get your fishing rods out. If you're AFK, you better be AFK fishing here, because otherwise you're kind of just wasting your time. If you're new, you basically just want to be here for a while. There's also the Finto's Healthy Juice recipe as well. Less good, I would say. This basically is a farming juice event. You farm some special wheat seeds, and then when they grow, you get fruit of the sun. Well, a chance to obtain fruit of the sun. Doesn't even say that it's actually guaranteed. If you need fruit of the sun, that's good. Maybe it's a higher yield, but I don't know about that. And then you process the items you obtain through the challenge reward tab to get the Finto's Healthy Juice. However, the juice is only able to be used by any character with health level 29 or below, so that kind of makes it useless from the majority of people, I think, that would want to level their health. But yeah, that's pretty much it for NA EU PC patch notes. Now let's get on to the Korean ones, which are pretty interesting. So ocean changes, they added precision shelling skills, so you need Apprentice 1 to use it. Basically, you can press Q or E while you're on the ship to access precision cannons, and then you can left click or right click. You can move the reticle around to where you want to shoot as well. The waiting time for reloading ship cannons has also been improved, so now that each side, so the port and starboard sides, have separate cooldowns. That means it's now possible to shoot on the port side while the starboard side cannons are on cooldown, and it's now possible to shoot both side cannons at the same time. You can now let go of the wheel while cannons are on cooldown as well. Finally, 4 new sellers have been added that impact cannon range, position, and power. I'll have a little video for you guys to show you these changes on test server. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. I mean, something that I think should have been in from the get-go, but I'm glad we have it now. It looks really cool. And of course, this is Korean patch notes, so we're not going to get it till probably next week or the week after. So keep that in mind if you're looking for these changes. We're not probably going to get it on NA or EU, basically global, for another week or two. Now, Mewa Awakening, Puddle Bloom no longer has knockdown and instead has SA throughout the entire animation. I talked about this in the labs update, and I mistakenly thought it was a nerf. It is not a nerf. It is a buff that the Mewa community has been asking for a long time. So keep that in mind. It is not a nerf. It is a buff. Now, Caphras changes. This is really good too. Extracting Caphras will now yield 95% of the Caphras invested. That's huge. That's really good. And the amount of Caphras needed to reach level 4 in armors and weapons has been reduced by 20%. I talked about this in my test server patch notes as well, and a lot of people were saying like, oh, it's probably only for pen because they're using a pen example. And so I went into test server. I checked out at Ted Kudum. And yes, it is reduced for all items up to level 4. So it also helps people who are TET trying to get to level 4 for the DP and AP brackets for those weapons. So really, really good change for Caphras. And there's also one more little note that they talked about with Blackstar. So there's some Blackstar changes coming with a main weapon. Now it has 1 added damage for all characters for Blackstar at level base, basically plus 0 to TET. What that means, it could allow Blackstar to have 1 more sheet AP, depending on how it is calculated. So we'll see when it comes to Korea if any Koreans actually put out a video about it, or we'll see it in about probably a week or two. Now, there's also a new journal, Allison's journal. It has been added. Basically, you complete it and you get a bunch of Caphras as a reward. There's also some grind zone changes. This is only for Odalita, so this is not going to be for us for a long time. I don't think Odalita is coming anytime soon. So the tourist zone now drops an added item called the Fire of Blazing Destiny, and the Thorny Forest now has elites that drop large amounts of spare powders. There's also one final change for the Korean PC patch notes, and that's you can now freely change skill points up to level 57. So that's good for newer players trying to figure out what their class do. And there's also a new sort of OTP security system that the Korean client is using. Basically, if you register your account to use that one-time password security system, you get a 5% item drop rate buff on your account. So that's pretty interesting. Don't know we'll see that. Usually that is dependent on Kakao, whether or not they want to implement that, but we'll see. And that's pretty much it for this one, guys. Let me know what you thought about all these changes. Specifically, the sailing changes look really good. Mewa Awakening buff, really good. Agris Fever, do you think it's going to be cool? Are you going to be one of those people that are going to grind every 3 days just to use that buff, or are you still not really going to grind that much? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.